Okay, as we continue with hermeneutics, I want to make sure we understand or get some applications, some practical things that we can do to properly get into the scriptures. So in this section, we're going to go over about 4 things that we can do today, because I know right now we're going through a lot. I'm learning a lot, and even myself, I'm like, all right, I got to go back and work through some of these things that we're learning to properly and better understand it. So the first thing that we learn from Intro to Classical Evangelical Hermeneutics is that Scripture interprets Scripture. I mean, this isn't just from the book. This is numerous other sources. Say this, do this, interpreters do this, that you go to Scripture and you under that Scripture based upon other Scriptures. Sometimes Scripture is not so clear, so you have to go to previous Scripture, the Scripture before and after it, and then also most Bibles have like related verses, cross-references, so definitely use those cross-references. See how the verses relate to each other. Usually there's certain words in a verse that are used elsewhere, and you can see how those words are used elsewhere. So a good practice is study Ephesians 2:20, cross-reference it, and really dig out the meaning of what that verse is talking about. That's really important. Second thing we can do is the meaning of the words. This is really good to have a Bible dictionary. Here's some tools: Bible dictionary, concordance, lexicon, just a historical grammatical book that explains things like that, and really understand the words. Like the word love in the Bible is used often, and we know that there's agape in the Greek. There's agape love, which is like a willful love, his love out of his own character. There's eros, emotional love, and just so many different forms. And so it's really important to understand like the specific words and their meaning and how they had defined that word and not how we define it. So definitely understand the words, and this too can help when cross-referencing that specific word in its original language and its original context. So definitely you need tools, and that would be something we would have to go into detail, but buy a Bible dictionary, buy a handbook to the Bible, buy books that talk about how to read and study the Bible. Very important. Number 3, context must be taken into account. So understand the words, the thoughts, the mood, what's going on, the situation, the people, what's going on in this environment. Basically, you have to understand it in their town. Like, understand where the scripture is taking place. What book is it in? What sentence is it in? What paragraph is it in? What genre is the book written in? Is it poetic? Is it historical? Is it a letter? And then understand it in context of that. And you say, okay, well, this is a historical revelation, so this wasn't meant for us to take in as we have to do this, but it meant to reveal a truth. But then from that we can grab special teachings and special things for us to live out in our lives. Very important. And then 4th, grammatical historical interpretation must be used. And here again, you understand the words. You understand that this was written in a specific language with specific sentence structures. In English, it's like subject, verb, object, I think, and then, but in like Hebrew, it's verb, subject, object. And the more you understand how they sentenced and brought their created their subjects and built up their sentences, the better you can understand how the writer was trying to portray a specific truth. Because language is very able to be worked as to give a certain feeling, to give a certain emphasis on certain points. So definitely have to understand it in its original language and its original structure. Thank you. Write a sentence.